Good evening, Metal Faithful. It is I, your mandated reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified, Mr. Mark Radulich. And this is the Metal Hammer of Doom, our first show officially of 2021. And tonight, we called an audible. We were supposed to do the Cybertronic spree, but I decided to go with something a little bit different. A friend of the show, Jeff Sloboda of the MCU's Bleeding Edge, has been doing these reaction videos, and he did two for the band we're going to talk about tonight, which is called Band-Maid, and like Band-Aid. You know, Band-Aids stick where they're supposed to, but they don't stick where they're not supposed to. This is a song I used to sing, little jingle. Anyway, this is Band-Maid, M-A-I-D. And they're a Japanese all-female rock band, and they dress like traditional maids, you know, in the black and white uniform and all that. They released an album, Unseen World, January 13th of 2021, so almost a year ago. He did a couple of reaction videos to it, and I thought, hey, you know, that actually sounds pretty cool. Since we don't have any good albums to talk about just yet for 2022, I was like, let's go back and take a look at this, because we like the baby metal here on the Metal Hammer of Doom. We like the stuff that's off the beaten path, and I was like, let's give this a look-see. Let's check it out. And I'm not joined by my brother from another mother tonight. He's got a sore throat. He's got all kinds of things going on. So we wish Jesse well. But I'll tell you what, the original band is back together again. The men that started this as the 411 Music Podcast, and then the Metal Hammer of Doom, which should have just been the Hammer of Doom, but I misunderstood what Rob was telling me at the time. So, Metal Hammer of Doom it became. Ladies and gentlemen, the Metal Coop, Robert Cooper. How do you do, sir?
Well, I thought we went with the Metal Hammer of Doom because, well, I don't know. Because, yeah, my article was the Hammer of Doom news report, but also right. I do know Hammer of Doom is a music festival as well. Mm-hmm. So I was like, you know, I think Metal Hammer of Doom actually works because it just says it right on the tin what we are.
Well, that was the thing. I copied the title of your article.
Yeah.
You know, it was the Hammer of Doom newsletter, like you said. So, like, okay, well, we'll be the Hammer of Doom podcast. But I thought you told me it was the Metal Hammer of Doom, which even at the
I never
time,
knew that.
Yeah, which even at the time I was like, really? Did he have to put metal in there? Whatever. So, you know, that way people don't think it's the wooden Hammer of Doom. And
yeah. Well, as long as they don't ever think that we're affiliated with the Metal Hammer magazine,
and no one thinks that.
they have journalistic integrity.
Yes. So you're into like a lot of the Japanese cultural stuff. Have you ever heard of this band, Band-Maid? Do you know what all this is about?
I've done a little reading on them because funny thing is I haven't been quite as connected to the metal scene as I did when I was writing, just because I don't pay that level of attention anymore. But I remember the sort of girls doing a metal band thing, you know, was starting to really sprout up after baby metal became popular. Because, you know, I really do like baby metal. I like what they do. There was another one called Lady Baby, which was 3 Japanese girls and a very large burly man with a beard. I listened to them, and they kind of sounded like some of the worst baby metal songs I ever heard. They had definitely more of the J-pop side of it than the metal. This band I had not heard of. Some of the funny thing is some of the anime that they've done openings for I've seen or seen the openings of. So that's was quite nice. Like they did the opening for Platinum End, which is by the Takeshi Sugimioba and Takeshi Obata, if I'm not mistaken, the guys who did Death Note, even though it's not nearly as good as Death Note, so it kind of makes you wonder if they're a one-trick pony team. Even though Death Note really... Do you ever see... You know about Death Note?
No, in all honesty, you're saying a lot of words that, even if you were just making it up, I could not tell.
Gotcha, okay. So Death Note is like ultimate fucking edgelord stuff. It is this... brilliant genius high schooler gets a book that he can write in, and when he writes in it, the person dies.
Okay.
And he becomes he pretty much becomes like this sort of serial killer that slowly becomes more of a villain with a god complex. And the first half of the show is him and this other weird ass kid L, who is another genius who figures out it's him. And it's kind of their cat and mouse game. And it's very engaging until about halfway through. and then there's a time skip, and it is not nearly as good in the second half. Platinum End was just not good when it started, but yeah, they did the opening for that. They've done an opening for a few other anime that I like. Their thing is that their image is kind of propagated out of the maid cafes that are in Japan.
Yes, tell me about the maid cafes.
To be honest, I know more of them than about them. I really have just kind of wondered myself, like, exactly what do people get from it rather than something sexual? You know, part of me kind of wonders that, because when I look at the maid cafe, a lot of times you see that fetishization that you get from the French maids.
Yeah.
Part of me wonders if that's part of it, but also I do know that they get fantastic customer service there. That's why when you look at this band, they call their male fans masters and their female fans princesses, and they even call I forget what they call it.
Jeez, I wonder why they're popular.
Yeah, well, I mean, they definitely have that look to them as well. They have a very good look. Their music, honestly, when I listen to them, they kind of remind me of not only just kind of a little bit of a harder rock edge. They kind of sound like a harder rock version of a pop punk band.
Yeah, for sure.
To me.
We're going to listen to all of the tracks from Unseen World, and I have to tell you, like, I really enjoyed, just straight up right from the beginning, I really enjoyed the album. I think they put together some really good pieces. It's nothing I haven't heard before. The thing that makes them distinct is that it's these high-pitched Japanese girl voices. But you take them out and you put in the singer from Blink-182 or something, and it's like, okay, I have heard this before. And not that it doesn't slam, because it does, but it's not like, they're not, with their musicianship, they're not really creating something that's altogether new necessarily. You know, they have not redefined music as we know it, but that doesn't necessarily make it bad. It's actually quite good. And like I said, if it weren't for their look and the vocals, I don't even know if we'd be covering them, because they sound like 160 other bands out there.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like, yeah, I don't know if they're anything particularly unique in what they offer, because, like, yeah, I watch a lot of anime, as your children also do, I found out, which is hilarious, by the way. All these years, you guys being like, herder, you nerd, you listen to anime, and then, haha, your spawn likes it too.
Yeah, I definitely got afflicted by the parent curse of,
You did, it's all right. Back when you were like, hey, any podcast you ever want to do, and I was like, Armored Trooper Votoms. I think that would have been hilarious, because that is a 1980s. The styling of it is called Real Robot. So you've got like your super robots, like your super mystical, powerful robots that blow shit up and never get destroyed. Well, real robots are like, what if we just made a mecha tank? It's pretty much what it is. Like, it's like, yeah, it's really cool. It's a robot, but also like it can get blown up pretty easily. So it's really fucking good, but also it is very different from anything I'm sure that you've watched with your children.
Well, the last thing I watched with Lily that was anime related was Demon Slayer. No, actually, I take that back. I take that back. The last thing I watched with Lily was the My Hero Academia movie.
It was okay.
Yeah.
I went and saw that in theaters because I got the Regal Unlimited Pass.
Yeah.
Because, of course, why not?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, fuck it. I'll go see it for $0.
Yeah, no, she desperately wanted to see it, so we had a daddy-daughter date, and I brought her and dozed off during the movie. Yeah, her favorite things in life, and we actually got her some fun T-shirts that say this, are anime and ramen. It's like, Lily, what do you want for dinner tonight? Ramen. Lily, we're at a McDonald's, you fucking idiot.
Man, this is a Wendy's. Stop that.
You'll have a Baconator, and you'll like it.
You will. And if you don't, I'll eat it, and you'll go hungry.
That's right.
Yeah. Which I still love, by the way, that you dressed as the character from Odd Taxi at the anime con you went to. That tickled the hell out of me. Because I've not watched Odd Taxi, but I've heard it's really fucking good.
I just saw, like, Robert, when we did the review of that, we're way off topic, but when Robert and I did the review for Odd Taxi, we both were like, so the story is told. We really don't need another season of this. Like, this was a great one-season of television, and they don't need to do any more. And then within the last week or two, I saw something online that said that there was consideration for an Odd Taxi season 2, and I'm like, why? Why?
You're like, we did it all. Everything's explained. We don't need it.
We revealed that he's not really a walrus. I don't need to see any more of this.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, interesting.
Oh,
yeah, I need to watch that. I've been watching.
Did I just spoil the shit out of Odd Taxi for you?
It's okay. I've been watching Kaiji, which is, Squid Game's the big thing.
Yeah.
Kaiji is the anime version of it that came out that was started in '95.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, if you like that Squid Game style, it is very addicting and quite good. Really dig it. But yeah, back to this band. The thing that I find very I won't say interesting is that when I listen to this, it feels just very safe. It feels very nice for me because I love anime. I've liked anime since I was a kid. Really, I'm not quite one of those where it's my whole personality, but I'm still always. Some people, I'm not hating on people that are like that. It's just not. It's not my.
Sorry, this Band-Maid is really like right in your wheelhouse. Then.
Yeah. I mean, they are Kobe. Oh, man, that was killer. All right, sorry. Basketball. He did. He hit a step-back 3 to win the game.
That's good.
Nice. Yeah, got to yell Kobe for him.
People tuning into this to hear us talk about this band will now also know what's happening in your Lakers game.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's not even the Lakers. It was the Rockets, and they suck. Like, the Rockets are absolute dog crap this year, and they just won a game. Good for them.
Kobe Bryant's on the... What now? What team?
No. So the thing is, Kobe Bryant is actually he's currently on the God Squad because he's dead. But no, the thing is like when you shoot, you yell Kobe to make it. Like Kobe.
Oh, okay. So you're not watching actual Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, no. I was watching the Lakers, not the Lakers, the Rockets and the Wizards. That was pretty cool. This is what everybody comes to their music podcast to listen to to listen to two grown-ass men talk about everything but.
So what do you say we actually listen to some music then?
Yeah, we'll listen to some music and then we'll talk about more of the just everything.
Well, let me first talk about this. I mentioned before, Unseen World came out a year ago. It came out on Pony Canyon,
which is I find very interesting because Pony Canyon actually. About a few years ago did some anime releases, but they didn't they were actually very, very unsuccessful, which I can get more about that a little bit later because there's a whole tangent I can go on, but they're it's very interesting to me that they also, I guess they're more of a music production than an anime production company.
So the album reached the top 20 on the rock music charts in 13 countries and reached number 1 on the Oricon Rock Albums chart in Japan. They did music videos for Warning, No God, Afterlife, and Manners, Black Hole. So if you found this for the first time because you were looking for people to talk about this band, the way that we do things here on the Metal Hammer of Doom, we didn't used to do it this way, but we do now because I don't want to be on this for 8 hours. We play 3 songs at a time, and because of copyright and all of that, we could only play a portion of the song. So about a minute of each song we're going to play, just get a little taste of each song so that we can talk about it. So the first 3 songs we're going to listen to tonight are Warning, No God, and Afterlife. In the Afterlife, here we go. Does it slam? It certainly does, Robert Cooper. It certainly does. But I'll tell you, I'm loving this band, but I think I would love them more if I had never heard Baby Metal, and I'll tell you why. You want to know why?
Why is that?
Baby Metal, first of all, was probably the first time I ever heard like the integration of like J-pop and metal, which has become more of a thing since then. I think the very first time I Metal Injection brought it to my attention, as they do with a lot of the nutty bands that I listen to. It was like, oh my god, this is the new hotness, and I'd never heard anything like it before, and I became like obsessed with Baby Metal. And now, and the thing about Baby Metal that always stood out to me was how it didn't sound integrated. Like, it sounded like somebody took a J-pop record and mixed it with a death metal band. Like, it was two different entities that some DJ was like itching and scratching together. Okay, which I liked. I liked that about it. Where Band-Maid, one, doesn't necessarily sound to me like J-pop crossed with metal. They just sound like a band, which is fine. Like that last song, Afterlife.
Yeah.
Like I could totally see them opening for like Five Finger Death Punch and not even missing a beat, and people appreciating it because they're not that far off from it in terms of the way the music sounds. This has got some great double bass drum to it. In these first three songs, I think in the Wikipedia I saw something about like they're one of these bands that go out of their way to play as fast as possible. I think I'll have to go back and read it, but something about like the BPMs on one song being like 220, and I like that. I like really, really fast music. I always have, but the vocals don't sound so overly distinct that it comes across as different from the entire band, like somebody added it in there. Like this very much sounds like an integrated band, which is to their credit. But I'm spoiled now because I want to hear something that's as quirky as Baby Metal. This isn't quirky. If they didn't do, like, if they were just they were Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, and they just wore regular clothing and they didn't have the maid gimmick, I don't know how much attention I'd be paying to them. And that's the thing. Like, their music sounds great. It's just not... It's not as over the top and out of the box as something like Baby Metal. Some of the other things that we've talked about here. What sells, I think, this band is their image. But what do you think?
Well, I mean, I don't disagree with you at all. So I mean, this is a J-rock band. Like, they are. I mean, they essentially they are what they are. They are They play fast. Their music's really driving. And I mean, I'll give it to them in a way. I mean, really, in society, sometimes you might not be too different from someone else, but that's what makes them special is that look. They caught that niche. They know what they're doing. I'll give it to them. It's smart.
Yeah.
Their music is really not all that different. That's why I find it to be very comforting in a way, because they remind me of a lot of just kind of those. Well, one, they remind me of pop punk a lot. They have a lot of that pop punk vibe to them, which I'm very fond of. That is my number one genre of karaoke music, mind you. Well, because I love, don't get me wrong, I do metal at karaoke, but a lot, it's a lot of metal's in a higher register than what I can really hit comfortably. Like that time I tried to do 18 in Life by Skid Row, I had to apologize halfway through.
Sebastian Bach has got some pipes on him, and that is at a very high register, especially for metal.
It's one of those, I didn't really think of it. I was like, it's not that bad. And then I tried. I'm like,
Ricky
nope.
was a young boy.
Yeah, it was not in my wheelhouse, which is fine. Still a great song. I tried. But yeah, this music very much is in that pop punk vibe. Musically, I mean, they do a lot of stuff really well. Some of the solos on this album are really well done. I got a little Flight of the Bumblebee vibes on some of it. It was nice.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And it was funny. I was doing a little research during that little break. So Pony Canyon actually is one of the top music companies in Japan. I was thinking of Pony Canyon USA. That was their attempt to bring the. So what's funny is when you find a lot of your Japanese companies that try, especially with anime, that try to break into the American market, they oftentimes fail if they don't understand what's so different about the societies. So. I was actually, and I didn't know this, so I looked it up, that, for example, CDs are still really big in Japan, and the pricing on them are like $20-something a piece.
Now, is that like a hipster thing like in the United States with vinyl, or is it, is it just culturally they have not taken to streaming?
Yeah, streaming isn't a thing for them. Streaming is not nearly as big. And what's funny is for their media, their physical media, most volumes of anime. I know you weren't a fan back before 2008 when everything crashed and died, which I know I was around for a little bit of that, but also as a kid with my Pokemon tapes. In Japan, they release like 4 or 5 episodes of a 25 episode series at a time. And they price those things at like $40 a piece, and people buy it. And that's kind of the format they were doing over here. It wasn't quite as expensive, but still, it was like $20 for 5 episodes. Well, that quickly went downhill because over time the way that Americans consumed a lot of their media was by the season, so they started releasing full seasons of stuff. And now you're looking at a show on DVD, which it's funny now. That's why region coding is a thing. By the way, I don't know if you know much about region coding on.
I know it exists.
Yeah, so that's actually what I got my best buddy Nick, who one day will get on this podcast.
That's a bingo.
There we go. There's your one more spot, and we get bingo. I got him a region-free Blu-ray player for Christmas last year because he loves a lot of British stuff, and a lot of those releases you can only get over there, but it's coded to that region. It makes it to where you're not getting reverse importation on a lot of stuff, so you're not getting somebody from Japan buying the American disc for half of the price.
So, funny you should mention that. One year for Christmas, I bought myself the history of Mid-South Wrestling. And I go to put the disc in the DVD player, and I'm getting like an error message, and it's like not working, and I'm like, what in the hell is wrong with this thing? And I pull it out of the DVD player, and I'm looking at the box. I'm like, what did I do wrong here? Why isn't this not working? Yeah, it was coded for a different region.
Yeah. I actually got Nick a Region B Doctor Who DVD once, and actually I actually had my ex get me something one year. She tried to get me this anime that I I wanted to watch it, and then it left the streaming sites, which is why you always have things. If you want to watch it again, you get that shit on physical media, because they take stuff off. Like, I'm not kidding. I was trying to, my girlfriend, Natalia, and I were watching, we wanted to watch Creed, and Creed was not streaming anywhere. You had to go buy it off Amazon or something. And I'm like, man, fuck this. And I went to the back room and dug it out of a fucking box on Blu-ray.
Speaking of which, do you still go to like the record store and like buy like the dollar CDs? Are you still doing that shit?
Sometimes. Funny thing is, I have my stereo is still in the trunk of my car. It never made it in when I moved down here. But yeah, no, I'll still go buy that. Like Nick and I went to, and our friend Thad, we went up to Asheville, where there's actually a DVD store up there that does DVDs and Blu-rays and all that. And he and I, we'll go and buy physical media. Like, I went and bought an Ultraman series on DVD.
So almost a year ago, when we reviewed Mortal Kombat,
yeah,
and I was still doing like theme week. So one of the things we did for the Mortal Kombat week was a review of all the Mortal Kombat soundtracks. And one of the songs on the first Mortal Kombat soundtrack was "What You See, We All Bleed" by Mother's Day Out. And I was like, I really like this song. Let me check out some more Mother's Day Out. And I went to, I don't know if you know this or not, but I went to Amazon Music, where they have over 70 million songs. And did you know, Robert Cooper, that we are actually giving away a free 30 days of the Amazon Music Unlimited service? Did you know that?
I had actually, listening to this podcast, I found out about that for the first time. It's amazing.
Yes. If you go to getamazonmusic.com/W2M Network, you can take advantage of our free 30-day trial of the Amazon Music Unlimited service. That's getamazonmusic.com/W2M Network. If you like it, you keep it. You pay the monthly fee after your 30 days are up. If you don't, you can cancel it. No fuss, no muss. But I'll tell you what's not on Amazon Music Unlimited. 70 million songs are, but 70 million and 10 are not. And those 10 songs that are not on Amazon Music is Mother's Day Out's album. So I actually had to buy. Now, get this, right? It was such an old man thing. And I got it. It's funny because I lit into my daughter the other day about, like, not being observant. Like, I asked her, are the garbage cans full? And she was like, I don't know. And I'm like, you were just out there taking out the garbage. What do you mean you don't know? And I'm like, you please wake up, pull your head out of your butt, and be more observant about the world around you. Life is more than just anime and ramen. And she was like, I'll try. And I was like, okay. But it's not that I'm much better, because I went and bought a physical, or as my father would say, a fiscal. I bought a fiscal CD, don't you understand, Robert Cooper?
He bought that there fiscal CD, you see, Ben.
Yeah. I've been missing to World Championship Wrestling on 605.
Yeah, baby.
Anyway, I got hard times. Anyway, so I go on Amazon. You can't buy the thing digitally. You can't get it on iTunes or anything. So I was like, all right, I'll just buy the actual CD. I have a CD player in my car. It's fine, because there's nowhere else I can, like, my computer
I'm
is
jealous.
My computer is a total flat screen. There's no place for a compact disc. I no longer have a Blu-ray player. I don't have a stereo anymore. Everything is devices and Blu-ray.
You don't have a Blu-ray player?
I don't have. No, I got rid of all that stuff.
I guess y'all don't have a gaming system.
No, I have a Switch. That's it. So we have a Switch.
The Switch can't play Blu-rays.
That's I'm aware.
Oh
of.
yeah, it's a fucking Switch.
Yeah, it's little cartridges.
Sorry. I was just thinking of the Wii. I'm an idiot.
So, yeah, we don't have a gaming system like that. We don't have a Blu-ray player, and my computer can no longer take CDs. And so I'm like, well, I know I have a CD player in my car. All cars have a CD player. I have a 2020, I think, or 2019 Camry. And I go to I get the thing in the mail, and I'm like, oh, hot dog, I can listen to Mother's Day Out. I can finally check out the rest of this album. And I go to put it in the CD player. You know what's not in my car?
A CD player.
A CD player.
Yeah, you know what's funny? When I got my first Mazda, it didn't have one, so it got totaled, like you do.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I got out of my predatory loan. Best thing that could have happened to me. But so the guy that's the car salesman there at the Ford dealership trying to get me to buy goes, "Hey, this has got a CD player. You mentioned how much you missed that so much. See, you should go with this car." I felt bad. I was just using him to get 0% interest. and it worked.
So,
but
go ahead.
Because I missed that. I still have my freaking folder full of CDs sitting up on the bookcase. I just don't do much with it.
I have 2 CDs in a car that doesn't have a CD player right now. I have the last, I think, Life of Agony album and Mother's Day Out, which I don't know what to do with them. I can't listen to these things, so they're just like hanging out in my car.
You know, that's actually crazy because I have, like, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, wow, I have so many ways to listen to CDs now.
Yeah.
I've got a stereo. I've got my old Xbox. I got the 360. I got a PS4. I got a computer.
My next phone needs to be a CD player.
I think it should be. Because, you know, again, what if they take that music off streaming? You're not going to be able to find it.
Yep. Unless it's on Amazon Music Unlimited.com.
Yeah, it is. And then you use the code W2M Network to get 30 months free.
30 days, not 30 months. All right, let's listen to some more music here. How about that?
I like that. Good idea.
Yeah. All right, so the next 3 songs are Manners, I Still Seek Revenge, and HGK. You know, it's not quite toilet-throwing music the way Limp Bizkit is, but it's close, man. Like, I want to get up and start dancing around. I want to start a mosh pit. I want to wake my son up. Like, listen, I know you got to go to school tomorrow, but let's mosh.
Oh, yeah. You should be picking up change like a homeless man.
I really am. I'm like, you know, I every time we go into the songs, I start getting up and I start doing windmills, start mule kicking.
Well, that's good. You know, I really appreciate you supporting clean energy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
no, that first one matters, man. That actually reminded me a lot of Clutch. Like, I was kind of missing Jesse there for a second because I was like, oh, I wish Jesse could hear this. That had that like guttural, funky, you know, stoner rock Clutch vibe to it. I Seek Revenge was also kind of on the gritty side, and then HGK was like right back into what we started with, which is all good, definitely all good.
Yeah. You know, it's actually interesting that that fourth song there, the vocals on it actually gave me some storm vibes. Just because
Okay.
she has a pretty powerful voice on her, and that does kind of remind me of Lizzie Hale in that regard. Uh, God, Hailstorm. I haven't thought about them in ages. Actually, I always love their cover of "Get Lucky." I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you ever heard that one.
That's a good one.
That's a great one. Oh, I know. I know if anything's a cover, you'll say it's a great one. So
Not
that's.
necessarily.
I know you're the man that said there's no such thing as a bad cover.
I may have said that once.
You did. You did. Even though I think we've probably heard some that have definitely questioned that.
Oh God, yeah, you got. I played that Renegades cover that you and Jesse both were like, "That's not great," and I'm like, "Are you kidding me? It's amazing." Really,
I'm
but
trying to,
you don't remember that one?
no, what was it? What was it a cover of?
Renegades is the name of the song.
Oh yeah,
Do you remember it now? Or
yes.
do I need to play it for you? Do I need to play it for you?
I mean, you can. I mean, need to give the listeners some context.
What was the name of the band? Do you remember the name of the band?
I do not. Let's see. Renegades cover.
Um. Oh, okay, I got it. Hang on. Let me switch back here.
Gotta find my soul. I've lost my faith in this broken system. Got love for my home. But if we cry, is there anyone listening? What a forgotten generation. We want an open conversation. Follow me on this road. You know we gotta let go. For all of the times that they said it's impossible. Lightning lights up the desert sky, the road goes on and on. I remember the days we spent hiding from the sun. So I tell her again and again, there's nothing left to say. So I tell her again and again, I won't be back this way. Oh, like renegades. Gypsies on the open road in the desert rain.
That completely pointless medley was brought to you by Grammarly.
Yeah, no, that cover was. Ugh.
Oh my!
Like
oh,
when you get to the friggin'.
Well, hang on. Let me finish the plug. Grammarly's
Oh.
AI-powered products help people communicate more effectively. Grammarly helps you write mistake-free on Gmail, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and nearly anywhere else you write on the web. Grammarly corrects hundreds of grammar, punctuation, spelling mistakes while also catching contextual errors, improving your vocabulary, and suggesting style improvements. To download Grammarly today, go to getgrammarly.com/W2M Network. Again, that's getgrammarly.com/W2M Network to download Grammarly for free. Sir, you insult me and my entire family. I will not have you besmirching 36 Crazy Fits cover of Renegades, which, by the way, I played that, and you know me, I get a little bit of the ADD when we do stuff like this. So I see right below it, it says Renegades Japanese version by One OK Rock, and I'm like, oh, I bet that's another cover of Renegades, but it's like in Japanese. That'll be fun to play on here, and it wasn't. And then I was like, okay, well, there's the LA Guns doing Renegades, and it still wasn't, and that's when I gave up.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were just trying to find every song named Renegades that you could go for and just kind of just roll the dice.
I almost did 2 or 3 more of these. I'm like, no, anyone listening to this for the first time who really just wants to hear us talk about Band-Maid is going to get really irritated. So, though right. I did stop myself from playing the Kids Bop cover of Renegades.
Oh, for the love of God, don't do that to us. Like, I'll take 36 Crazy Fist any day over Kids Bop.
Bop. Oh, baby! Oh, bop! Anyway, so yeah, I'm really enjoying this album so far. There hasn't been a bad song on here. You know, as much as I got a little distracted there momentarily, this has been a pretty solid album so far.
Yeah, I think honestly, there's been enough in this album to where it doesn't quite get the samey vibes.
Yeah,
I mean, there are some songs that kind of are a return to normal, but I feel that they're surrounded by kind of stuff that's a little different, just to kind of, it kind of freshens everything up.
Agreed. So a little bit from the wiki here under the composition section. The lyrics for Afterlife are about the future and being born again. The bassist Misa wrote the guitar solo for No God. The lyrics for Manners Maketh Man, are about Band-Maid. Rhythm guitarist, backing vocalist Miku Kabato wanted to call it Rule, but lead vocalist Saiki Atsumi felt that it was too pushy. It was the last song written for the album. Lead guitarist Kanami Chono. I'm really sorry if people who actually speak Japanese are like, wow, he's massacring these names and everyone that gets in his way. I'm sorry I'm doing that.
I think you're actually doing pretty all right.
Thank you. Robert Winfrey were here. He'd be laughing at me, though. Tonio wanted Manners to have a Western feel to it, so she analyzed all the songs that were nominated for Grammy Awards. That's amazing. That's actually the first time I've read that line. Let me read it again. She wanted it to have a Western feel to it, so she analyzed all the songs that were nominated for Grammys. You know, I've seen the songs nominated for Grammys. That's quite a grab bag.
Yeah, that's very interesting, honestly. Like, as a... Like, you know what? Well, Western. I don't know. Let's just see what they do. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Fuck it.
You want to play a game? You want to know what was nominated for the 2019? Assuming it was the 2019 Grammy she's referring to, right? Because this album was recorded in 2020, which means she would have had to have done this the year before. Yeah. Are you with me on this?
Yeah.
Okay. So in the general field, I'll do just a couple of these. Record of the year, okay? The nominees were I Like It by Cardi B, Bad Bunny, and J Balvin.
I'm good.
The Joke by Brandy Carlisle. The winner was This Is America by Childish Gambino.
Okay, I like that song. I'm not going to
lie. God's Plan by Drake. Shallow by Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. All the Stars by Kendrick Lamar and SZA, and Rockstar by Post Malone featuring 21 Savage. God, you know you're old when half of these you have no idea who these people are.
I know about 70%, but I'm only getting old.
The Middle by Zed, Maren Morris, and Gray. On My Kids, I don't know who half of those people are. Oh,
God. That song is not very good.
Album of the Year. Invasion of Privacy, Cardi B. By the Way, I Forgive You by Brandy Carlisle. Scorpion by Drake. Her by Her. Beer Bongs and Bentleys by Post Malone. Who is this Post Malone character?
You don't know Post Malone?
I mean, I know of him. I know he's a person that exists in the world, but I couldn't pick out a Post Malone.
He's also the whole reason we started talking about Magic the Gathering in the group chat.
Yeah, I ignore a lot of that stuff. Especially if I'm at work, that group chat's going on mute.
Oh, yeah, it's probably a good idea. Now, Post Malone, he seems like his music's all right. I don't mind his voice.
Isn't he in a feud with, Jake Paul or some shit?
Post Malone and Jake Paul?
I
don't know. Jake Paul's pretty unlikable.
I don't know. I thought Post Malone got into a fight with somebody recently on Twitter. Somebody that I was aware of because I was aware of the person there. It doesn't matter. I'm going to it was Jake Paul. Jake Paul fights with everybody. Golden Hour, Winner by Casey Musgraves. Black Panther, the album, music and from and inspired by. Wow. Let's move down. Let's see if she let's see what won in the metal category or the rock category. How about that?
Yeah. Oh man, Post Malone, like fucking Jake Paul showed up at Post Malone's house unannounced in 2017.
All right. So in the rock category for best rock performance of 2019, 4 out of 5 by Arctic Monkeys. When Bad Does Good, which won by Chris Cornell. Okay, I'm all about that. Chris Cornell's amazing. Made in America, The Fever 333. Highway Tune by Greta Van Fleet, which every time I see Greta Van Fleet, I want to say it's Greta Van Susteren from Fox News. I'm old.
Yeah, is she still on Fox News?
No, everyone has fled that network, like fucking Jacob. Uncomfortable
except Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, Uncomfortable by your favorite band, Hailstorm. All right, so here are the best metal performances. Condemned to the Gallows by Between the Buried and Me. Honeycomb by Deaf Heaven. Electric Messiah, Winner, from High on Fire. Betrayer by Trivium, and On the Teeth by Under Oath.
Under Oath? Really?
Yeah.
All right. Weird. It's all right. I've come to realize that when it comes to like the Grammys and stuff, if anything is heavier than Metallica, they tend to kind of shy away from it.
I was thinking I was going to make the joke about and then that finally in that category, Jethro Tull.
Hey, they won.
They did win.
They won. They are one-time metal album of the year winners. So, like, you know what? They got something figured out that I don't.
Wouldn't you have liked to have been Metallica that year? I can't believe we lost to Jethro Tull. All right, so yeah, I guess that's what she looked at when she decided to come up with this. It's really interesting. The working title for I Still Seek Revenge was just Revenge. HGK is a title reference to a Turkish military-guided bomb.
That's metal.
I thought it was the Japanese version of Shawn Michaels, but Dutch. As he has been confirmed by lyricist Kabato in an interview, it took Tonio 2 to 3 months to be able to play it. For this song, Tonio was asked to make a song in the style of Choose Me, but it didn't turn out that way. She tried again with Afterlife, but that ended up being different as well. Nightingale was written by Tonio as a request of Kabato, who wanted a song solo on the album, but she didn't have one for their previous album, Conqueror. It was originally supposed to have a simpler ending. The title and the English spoken words are from William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. Wow, this is a pretty intellectual band here. Pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Chemical Reaction was based on a riff Misa wrote. The demo Tonio sent drummer Akane Hiros featured a cowbell, because you can't get enough cowbell. Which Hiros...
It's probably Akane.
Probably. Hirose wanted to substitute it with a ride cymbal cup, but Tonio said to keep it the cowbell. The lyrics for Giovanni are based on Kenji Miyazawa's novel Night of the Galactic Railroad.
I know that anime.
Ambition is a love song. Kabato left it up to interpretation on whether it's about infidelity or unrequited love. And then finally, Black Hole is their fastest song. That's what I was talking about before. Black Hole is their fastest song with a BPM of 220. Hirose prepared 7 different patterns of kick drum variations to show to her band members with the level of difficulty ranging from easy peasy to hell. They all chose hell without listening to any others. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's like you walk into a video game, you're like, all right, hard mode. Don't care, hard mode.
All right, well, we're into the back half of the album now. You ready for the next 3?
Oh, yeah.
All right, here we go. We've got Sanyo Kidori, YYY, and Chemical Reaction. All right, I find it hilarious that this is like mostly in Japanese, but the chorus is in English.
Oh, well, you got to get it in when you can.
That's what she said. Arr, arr, arr. Anyway, so you kept saying pop punk before, and I didn't want to just outright disagree with you, and like, because maybe you're hearing something that I'm just not hearing. Let me give it more of a chance before I tell you that you're wrong. Turns out you're right, because I was listening to Sayanaki Dori, and I was like, wow, I'm really getting like Fall Out Boy vibes there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely some of just just the way they have everything formatted, the instrumentation, even some of the vocals just kind of remind me of kind of that mid 2000s pop punk, which again, big soft spot, so that's great.
Sure.
The fucking drum work on that first song though was awesome. I love those irregular beats that she had running. That was really fucking cool. Yeah, I mean that set of 3 songs, like all 3 of them are really different, and I really enjoy that.
You said before, like, it keeps away from the samey vibe because they're they're ever so slightly changing up the style of music, so it's not all one specific genre. Like, this isn't like a Slayer album or like a death metal album or something where it's just variations on the same style of music. There's definitely a through thread. They're not deviating too far from that. It's not like one song's death metal and the next one's country. But there's definitely enough variation here to keep it interesting. I think these ladies have done a very good job with Unseen World. And I'll tell you, Robert Cooper, the critical reception for this was pretty good. The album generally received positive reviews from music journalists familiar with the J-rock scene. All these things I'm learning: J-rock, K-pop, your Mophead.
Moppy, may he rest in peace.
Oh, did you see the clip that I played for Robert Winfrey today in the chat?
No.
Okay, so I made a reference last night when we were talking about Don't Look Up and Being the Ricardos, and it was from, and I couldn't remember where I remembered it from, but I remember, like, my friends all thought it was hilarious back in the 90s, where I'm from, and...
I remember the 90s, yeah.
I was in high school from 1990 to 94.
I was shitting my britches for at least part of it.
Yeah, you were, you youngin'. Anyway.
So are you, though, so...
Well, it depends on what I was doing at the time. But my point is, like, we were talking about, like, gaslighting and straw man arguments, and there was this really funny quote, and I couldn't remember where it was from, so I looked it up today, and it was from the Ben Stiller show, and it was a joke about Skank the Puppet or something like that, and the whole joke is they do like a wasting water joke, and so you have like the head of like the Water Conservation Society come on this talk show, and he's arguing with the sock puppet. Now the sock puppet, instead of having like a really like harsh kind of like Brooklyn-y accent, is talking with almost like a British hoity accent, and the catchphrase they keep barking at each other is "Shut your stinking trap," which if you fast forward, "Shut your stinking trap" is now fake news. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I went off on that tangent. Anyway, you should watch the clip. It's really funny. Anyway,
it's funny. You just had to be there.
You had to be there in the 90s in high school. Carlos Velez Cancel at Everything Is Noise noted that the album is heavier than its predecessors and praised the band's ability to craft anthemic songs without being afraid to delve into the unconventional. Raijin Rock. What's Raijin? What does that mean? What's a Raijin?
Well, I mean, I know about Raijin Comics, which was actually a big fucking failure. Let me see what that was.
So you don't know what the actual word Raijin means?
Yeah, it means Thunder God.
Okay. Raijin Rock also noted that the album's lack of ballads when compared to the band's previous albums and its absolutely furious and unabating assault of aggressive hard rock, along with the guitarist Konami Tonio's ability to write memorable riffs, concluding the band are more cohesive on Unseen World than in any previous release. So we really picked a good one to do tonight. The album also received positive reviews from The Death of Music, which noted the band's continuing musical development. And Exclaim, which of all of these things is the only one I've ever heard of, which described the album's music as more adventurous and displaying more character than albums of the other current J-rock bands. Ryan Dyer of Metal Sucks selected the album as
I
one
love
of the
Metal Sucks.
Well, they thought it was one of the best albums of 2021. So we are fucking timely over here on the Metal Hammer of Doom doing it at the beginning of 2022.
It's the 1 year anniversary.
This is almost as bad as when I was picking my year-end songs and I picked a Volbeat song from an entirely different year.
Or that time I listened to the Heavy Saurus album from 3 years earlier.
Yes. Neither one of us knew the assignment on those days. All right.
Yeah, well, it was. Well, I mean, to be fair, it was all of it was in a fucking foreign language, anyways, so I couldn't tell. You could have played me their first album, and I'd have been like, "Yep, sounds right."
Yeah, this is fine. It's all finished. All right, you ready to hear the last 3 songs?
Hell yeah!
All right. So here we go. Last 3 songs of the night. This is Giovanni, Honkai, and Black Hole. Sun, won't you come in my ear? I'm going to have to go ahead and give this album a solid A. I mean, I really can't find anything to complain about. The only reason why it doesn't get like a perfect A+ from me is, like I said, any other band doing the same thing, I would still give it high marks, but it's nothing I hadn't heard before. So it's great, and I was bobbing my head, and I wanted to get up and dance and everything, and it was a pleasurable experience doing this podcast. I didn't feel like it dragged at all, but just slightly less than perfect. Just not, which as a harsher critic as I am, it's pretty high praise.
You're a harsh critic?
I am.
I always feel like with the music stuff, you're usually like, I like that was pretty good.
I go back and listen to some of the last year or two that I've done with Jesse. There's some stuff I'm like, no, I don't think Jesse's quite forgiven me for the Korn album review that we did.
Oh, maybe I just get happy, Mark.
Maybe I shat all over the Nothing. I made so much fun of that album. Like, I think when it was over, it was like Jesse's like, you're mean.
I still haven't listened to that. To be fair, I haven't listened to many of our podcasts. Like, period. That's fair. But I mean, for me, I would give this album solid 4.5 out of 5.
Speaking of harsh critics,
this album, 4 out of 10.
Yeah, fuck these people.
Yeah, this fucking sucked. But no, it was. I really enjoyed it. I felt like the album takes lots of twists and turns. Musically, it has a lot to say. Mm-hmm. A lot of it's really different, though it does. There are some anime theme song staples that I hear that, when I hear it, I'm like, oh, cool. I've heard this kind of beat before, but they really kind of break into some of the heavier songs. You have some ones that are more pop punk inspired. Mm-hmm. I even noticed a little bit more blues in some of these later tracks.
For sure.
I really dug it. It made me really want to dig more into the band itself because, I found them really impressive. I liked it quite a bit.
I might have to do a deep dive into the whole like J-rock scene and see what else is out there. See, if using this as sort of my measuring stick, like what's better than Unseen World by Band-Maid. Maybe find something that's like less gimmicky, but still thrashes. I don't know what's there, but I'm very much like movies and television. I'm very much into finding out what the hip kids are into these days and seeing if it's worth my time. So. All right, kids. Old man Radulich is going to dip his toe into the J-Rock, and we'll see what I can find. What do you think about that?
I expect a 4-page report on my desk by next Monday.
I will have charts and diagrams and spreadsheets.
Well, I mean, if anybody's going to have a spreadsheet, I expected you to just put everything in a calendar.
Shut up, jerk. All right. So that's our review of Band-Maid Unseen World. Next week, we'll be back. Jesse will be back, hopefully. We'll have Volbeat, Servant of the Mind. That's going to be January 12th. And then a special Metal Hammer of Doom Monday will be January 17th. We will be doing the next Lordi album in the series of Lordiversity albums. It'll be Abracadaver. Do you get it, Coop? Abracadaver. Not abracadabra. Abracadaver. Dead body. Get it? Do you get it?
See, I wish they would have went with Abacadaver.
It's probably a band name.
Just had like a corpse dressed up like it's the 70s.
We're back on Wednesdays again. Jesse picked the one we're going to do on the 26th. The Night Flight Orchestra, Aromantic 2.
I listened to that for this podcast originally.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was like, oh, we're doing Night Flight Orchestra. Shame Jesse can't be here. And then when I looked at the calendar, I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, you're off by like a month.
Better get that listened to real quick.
Like 3 weeks. And then we kick off February with Battle Beast, Circus of Doom. What do you think about that, sir?
I'm pretty stoked for Battle Beast. Always mix them up with... No, I know Battle Beast.
You know it starts on the 2nd, right? It starts on Hulu on February 2nd. The Pam and Tommy Show.
What's that?
The Pamela Anderson, Tommy Lee miniseries about their sex tape.
Oh.
You should watch it, man.
I did not know that was coming up.
Yeah, that starts on Hulu on February 2nd. And if you like Motley Crue the way I like Motley Crue and porn the way I do, you should totally watch Pam and Tommy. It looks like it's going to be fantastic. And we're going to talk about it when it's over. So if you want to be on that show, because I think that I put that on a Wednesday instead of the Metal Hammer of Doom. So if you don't want to miss a week, you need to watch that show and talk about it with me and Jesse.
I should. Okay, I mix Battle Beast up with Huntress a lot.
Yeah, they are not the same thing.
They are definitely not. Plus, I don't think Huntress is even around anymore.
So yesterday we reviewed WWE Day 1 and Don't Look Up and Being the Ricardos. Those were 2 different shows. The day before that, myself, Sean Comer, reviewed Titan, El Camino, and Christine, the Strawberry Girl, Christine. Plus, Jesse led a roundtable of everyone I locked out of the Spider-Man No Way Home review. So that was Jesse.
Wait, really?
Yeah, there was like a line forming to the left. I was like, no, nobody gets to be on because this is going. We're already going to have two people who on the show between Robert Winfrey and Gavin Napier. I can't, and I'm like, and I don't want the show to be 8 hours long, so nobody else gets to be on it. So instead, I let Jesse do a roundtable. So it was an audio-only roundtable of Jesse, Evan Bevins, Benjamin J. Colon, and David Wright. It was a great roundtable, lovely little discussion that they had. You should definitely check it out. Speaking of lovely little discussions, myself and Jason Teasley finally finished our review of You. All 3 seasons now are in the archive. We just did season 3 Sunday night. We kicked off the week with Billionaire Island, reviewed by myself, Jesse, and Evan Bevins. And Jesus Christ, this is like Evan Bevins' week on the Rattle. I was
going to say, yeah, I've heard his name more this week than I ever have.
Tomorrow night, Ronnie Adams, Evan Bevins, and I will be doing a triple feature for Prisoners of the Ghostland, Shadows in the Cloud, and Out of Death. 3 crazy streaming movies for you. Enjoy, that sort of thing. David Wright will be on Friday night to talk the final season of Lost in Space, which has been excellent, by the way. Highly recommend it, especially from science fiction. And then Saturday, Chris Bailey. We'll have a re-airing of our Hotel Transylvania 2 review from 2015, I think it was. And then the fastest rising star in the podcast network here is my son, Jonas Radulich. He's going to replace everybody. Especially, he might actually be on the Metal Hammer of Doom. We were jamming out to Rage Against the Machine the other day. He was like, I really like this. And I'm like, oh, I'm so proud of you. I've never been so proud of a father.
Just know that I do have a sanitary button where I can turn off the bad language.
Myself and my son, my almost 8-year-old son, Jonas Radulich, will be doing a comic strip for Monster on a Hill and Rumble, which is currently airing exclusively on Paramount Plus. So Rumble.
It's been 8 years since Jonas Exodus. God, I'm getting old.
I was gonna say yes. It's been almost 8 years since the Jonas Exodus.
Since I got locked in the laundry room.
Yeah, eventually I got to upload your death retrospective, and I think didn't you also do like a Nightwish one while I was gone once?
Yeah, no, I did Death. That was me solo. I did Nightwish with Sean Comer.
Mm-hmm.
I did. What else did I review? I think I reviewed the new Dream Theater as well. With
that's already up. That was you and Sean Garmer and some other guy that didn't last very long on the show.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I did a Mayhem retrospective, if I'm not mistaken. No, I did a Mayhem review, I think, with some dude that I just met the guy, and he's like, I was like, sure, we'll fucking sign you up.
All right, so over the next year or so, we'll start getting some of the Jonas Exodus, Rob Cooper solo shows that we did over the course of 2014. So, in the meantime, what do you got going on with your bad self?
Nothing really besides this podcast, though. Totally just to plug something really cool my buddy Nick and I watched. So he found Vinegar Syndrome, which is not movie releasing company. They release Blu-rays of usually like B-grade shitty 80s movies. But what's really cool is they actually found in their back room about 80 reels of this film called New York Ninja, which that's all they had. They didn't have a script. They didn't have a cast list. They didn't have anything. And they actually just released it this past year. They pretty much totally recut it themselves. They dubbed over everything with they got Don the Dragon Wilson for the main character. They got they got him for that. They had this band called Voyager 3 do all the music for it. Like, it's really fucking cool. And while like the movie is really fucking stupid and not great, like it is like 80s B movie schlock. Like, I was in love just because it's amazing that it exists, you know? Like the fact that they found this movie from 35 years before and finished it now is so cool. So like, yeah, if you're ever sitting at the house and you're like, golly gee, I'm bored, I'm tired of whacking off, go find you a copy of New York Ninja on Blu-ray.
All right, nice.
And that's trying to think. Yeah, that's all for me. I got dance lessons tomorrow. That's exciting.
You've dance lessons? What kind of dance? Tap?
No, not even. I made a friend at my work. I had just a woman come in, and she was really cool, and I was like, cool, I need friends. So I was asking her, like, all right, what are you doing this week? And she was like, well, I teach vintage dance on Thursdays. I said, cool, it's my day off. She said, bring your girlfriend. And I said,
are you learning ballroom dancing?
Well, not even ballroom. It's polka, waltz, a little bit of swing in there.
Good for you,
she said, it's, it's pretty beginner friendly. I've always wanted to go to dance lessons, and so is my girlfriend. So there we go. We're going to do that tomorrow, and it'll be more fun than a barrel of monkeys.
Indeed. All right, folks, that's it for the Metal Hammer of Doom. For the Metal Coop, for Jesse, we love you, Jesse. We miss you. See ya.
I miss you, Jesse. Please come back.
I'm Mark Radulich. Be well, be safe, and behave.